My guest today is Jodie Fox. After a career in advertising and also as a banking and finance lawyer, Jodie co-founded online business Shoes of Prey, a website where women can design their own shoes. Welcome to In Her Shoes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Tell us what Shoes of Prey does.
Sure. Well, Shoes of Prey is a website where women can design their own shoes, and they design every single aspect of the shoe. So they can choose the toe shape, whether that be almond toe, a round toe, peep toe, and many, many more. They can choose the heel height, all the way from a ballet flat through to a 4.5-inch heel, which is quite Amazonian. They get to choose the materials as well, and the heel shapes, so if it's going to be a wedge or a stiletto or anything like that. With the materials, there's over 100 different kinds of materials, and they range from Italian silk through to beautiful soft leathers and things like that. Once we receive the order with your design, then we give it to our technicians and they hand make it, and then we ship it to your waiting feet.
I poked around the website
quite
a bit, and I got caught up in the choices.
Yes.
When you give your customer the opportunity to be part of the creative process of a product, what happens?
It's such an interesting thing, the whole co-creation process, and I think from a retailer perspective it's such a thing to recognise that shift of power from the seller to the buyer, creating that not only the demand for your product but telling you exactly what they would like you to create with your craftsmen for them. So there's that power shift that happens. Secondly, there's kind of that moment of being able to choose exactly what you would like to spend your money on as well. And I think with some of the sort of financial climate that we've seen over the past couple of years, I think that that's become very important to consumers. Lastly, I think that co-creation process really delivers this wonderful, empowering moment when someone compliments you on your shoes and you get to say back, well, thank you, I designed them.
With shoes as a fashion item, and especially when it's a one-off, if you like,
yes.
What would happen if the fit was wrong? Or I'm just trying to think, is there a danger in the business that it is so customised that you can't put it back on the shelf and sell it to someone else?
It's definitely something that we thought about a lot as we were developing the idea for the business. And fit actually was perhaps the item that we spent the longest on in our development process. And it was incredible, the research we did. Should we send people memory foam that they step into and then send back to us to get the right fit, or is it something where we get people to draw an outline of their foot? But the difficulty is that the difference between a size is only 6 millimetres, and so as soon as you use a thick marker, for example, when you're drawing around your foot, we find there's a problem with determining what your size is. The most accurate thing that we found was to ask people to tell us their usual size, and in fact our return rates due to size are less than half than what we'd forecast they potentially could be. So we've found that to be a very accurate process. The other thing that we have done though is we've given people instructions on how to explain certain differences in their feet. So say for example you need your shoes wider at the toes, we've explained how you should give that information to us so that we understand it the most accurate way and can create the shoes for you in that way. I suppose another thing though is confidence, which is really the point that we're coming to. What makes a woman confident to buy shoes online, and particularly when they are one-off, made for her feet? What we ended up doing with that is creating a very generous returns policy, which in essence or essentially is that if you return the shoes to us unworn within 365 days, then we will either remake the shoes for you at no additional charge, or we'll refund you your money. So you can get more details of that on our website, but we feel that that helped women to have the confidence to order from us.
Well, as an online business, there's certainly particular things that make shoppers more comfortable, and that would definitely be one of them. Here in Australia, unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, there's still a lot of businesses that haven't ventured online. And yet yours is a business that probably works because it is all online.
Absolutely.
What's your position about retail and online business?
Well, I think being online is an incredible business opportunity because all of a sudden you're not limited by geography to the customers that you can service, and there is an enormous market out there. In fact, 60% of our market is offshore.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's quite enormous, and so I think it's an incredible opportunity. Particular to our business, as you said though, there's no way that it could operate, this concept could really operate offline. So if we had have taken this as an offline concept, I think essentially we would have recreated a more traditional bespoke retail experience, and I think that bringing it online really changes it a lot by breaking down the barriers of geography and cost and all of those sorts of things. So you can sit in your lounge room and design the pair of shoes, and you know that they will come back to you, and they're at a much lower price than what it might be to have to go to somebody. So I think that being online is really integral to our concept being exciting and new and something that works for us.
Now, it could be that you do have a background in advertising, but I did notice that your Facebook page at the time that I looked had over 18,000 fans.
Yes.
How did you do that? That's a lot of women talking about shoes.
It is. It's actually, I actually look after our Facebook page personally and respond to and sort of have developed great sort of friendships with the women on there, so I really enjoy our Facebook page. There were a number of elements that helped us to grow that and for it to continue to grow, but I suppose there are probably three things that were the main things that I'll tell you about. The first one is building a community, and we were fortunate to have some really wonderful advocates who were so keen to interact with us on that page and helped other people to have the confidence to interact with us on Facebook, and I think that that kind of naturally builds its own word of mouth. So that was one thing. The second thing is that I am obsessive about getting back to people quickly with relevant and helpful information and responding personally as well. And we do have a lot of people in there who write frequently and, feel like, I've built a relationship with them and I really enjoy talking with them on that page. So I think the way that we respond is very important too. The last thing is we've also worked with brands and personalities online who are good fits for our brand, but also have great reach. And where they're comfortable to ask them to recommend us to their audience or community as well. And I think that way as well, those referrals have come through as likes on our Facebook page.
So you use good traditional things, testimonials or referrals, good customer service, so traditional skills that are important for any business, but you're using those in a very public forum. How important is social media to your marketing strategy?
Oh, it's absolutely integral to our strategy, absolutely.
We like to leave our viewers with some tips and strategies from successful businesswomen that they can perhaps implement into their own businesses. Is there something that you would like to share with us?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like there's been so many things that I've learnt, but some of the key things were, the first thing is do things before you're ready to do them. And that was such a counterintuitive thing for me to learn in my, having previously been a lawyer and in advertising, you don't publish till it's perfect.
Right.
But I think particularly if you're operating in the online space, then it's important to realise how fast that pace is and that you do need to do things sometimes before you're entirely ready. But additionally, it's a really wonderful thing for your community. People like to be involved in your story and to see you develop and to give suggestions as you develop as well. So putting something in place before you're entirely ready can sometimes help to really foster that. So don't be afraid to do things before you're ready would be my first one. The second one is to be really open and honest about things as well. I think that in business it's very easy to want to protect those business secrets and treat them as assets. And I think that as we communicate now in this way online, that it's very important to know that people can tell when things are being hidden or when there aren't complete truths being told and things like that. And actually it's a really effective PR strategy to publish things.
To be transparent.
Yeah, absolutely. So that you've had the opportunity to say things and share things with your community as well. And I think more and more we need to realise these are those really sort of human traits that we appreciate in our day-to-day relationships that we should also have in our relationships with brands online. The last one is don't be afraid to go after the big opportunities. So it's very easy to see the opportunities that you have access to and to go after them because it's comfortable and you can achieve it and it's a wonderful thing. But don't be afraid to dream of those big opportunities and to really go after them. You might surprise yourself.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.